Hey everybody, welcome into episode 3 of Let's Talk About. Today's topic of discussion will be the most recent entry, it's still on the way as of right now, uh, into the Trails series here, the fabled Trails series, The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie. This still isn't due out until July 7th of this year, and you might be thinking it might seem a little odd that I'm doing an episode about this topic right now, when I'm currently LPing Sky's second chapter, which takes place several in-game years before Reverie here. You're right to think that's weird. I kind of think it is a little bit too. But my hype meters for this game are extremely off the charts, and I just had to do a video about it here. Now, I will do my best to avoid spoilers here, although I guess even the three characters here are kind of spoilery somewhat already if you haven't played later games here. But yeah, I will try to avoid any story spoilers there and whatnot as best I can. There will still be some things I'll go over like as a very, very like broad sense here to give an idea as to when the game takes place and all that there. But as far as like main story beats go, I do know some of them, but they're pretty minor as is. But I still won't go into detail here anyway. Now, yeah, as I said earlier, Reverie, as I'll call it shorthand for the rest of the video, is out July 7th. It'll be out on PS4, PS5, PC, and Switch. I will be picking it up probably PS4 first. I have a PS4 and PS5 and Switch and PC as well. Um, but yeah, I'll get it on PS4 Pro first, and probably just a digital copy of that just so I can have it day one. But eventually, I would like to own this physically as well, either a Switch copy or a PS5 one or what have you. I've been watching trailers for this game all over the place whenever Nisa shares them. The opening video there, story trailers, character trailers, things like that. And Reverie, as people have said already, if they've imported the game or whatever, or played it via a spreadsheet and what have you, which you can do actually if you have the PC version of the game on Steam in Japanese or whatever, there is a way to play with the spreadsheet there, so you don't have to wait for the official release. But at this point, it's already less than 2 months out, so I'll just wait until then. Yeah, Reverie is like peak Trails, from what I've seen and heard. It's essentially the epilogue of sorts for the Crossbell and Cold Steel arts, the two Crossbell games and the four Cold Steel games, to clarify. Reverie does take place, I believe, 5 months or so after the events of Cold Steel 4. And a lot happened at the end of Cold Steel 4 that I will not go into detail here. I will LP Cold Steel 4 eventually. That's not going to be until like 2025 or 6 probably. But we'll get there when we get there, don't worry. Now, the three characters here, I will at least say their names here as well. Lloyd on the front left, Reen on the middle right, and the new character here for Reverie, C in the middle. Now, Reverie will be having its Trails to Walk system, so you'll have three different playthroughs, or three different story paths, essentially, with Lloyd, Reen, and C here. And they will intertwine as you go about the game here. I'm sure the characters will meet up here and there. I already know they do from the trailers that Nisa has shown us already. And also from what I've seen, I'll be saying this a lot because I've always, of course, I've seen little bits and trailers and such here and there so far. There are over 50 playable characters in Reverie, which is absolutely absurd. Pretty much, you name a character from any of Sky, Crossbell, or Cold Steel, more than likely they're playable in Reverie, and I cannot wait for that. I'm trying to think what else. I should have made a list of things I wanted to talk about here, like to have my notes be more organized here, or my thoughts more organized and all that here, because there's just so much I want to go over. You guys already know, yeah, for that, you already know how much I love the Trail series as is. I'm now finally caught up with the entire series here. All three Sky games, all four Cold Steels, and then most recently with Trails to Azure's release, I'm now caught up on the Crossbow duology at long last. I, of course, did play Trails from Zero last year as well when that came out. I got that on my Switch. Same with Azure, and I adored both games there. Also, as always, adore the Sky Trilogy, but Cold Steel Arc will always be my personal favorite. That's the one that really stuck with me the most throughout my time as a Trails fan thus far. And Reverie is apparently going to blow those games out of the water and then some. It has like the hugest peak hype moments of like the entire series thus far. The game also is absolutely gorgeous. It's on pretty much the same engine, I think, as Cold Steel 3 and 4 have been, but like updated. Mainly with its cinematography. If you watch any cutscenes from Cold Steel 4 and then pull up what we've seen so far in Reverie, it's a night and day difference quality wise there, in my opinion. Also, like just graphically in general, it got a nice bit of polish there as well from Cold Steel 4. And yeah, this game, I think it also has VR support actually, doesn't it, for PS5? There's some like unique VR stuff you can do on the PS5 version, but you have to have a PS VR headset, of course, there. And I think we have an Oculus headset. I'm pretty sure. So I don't think that would really work for this here. And by that I mean it definitely wouldn't work for that. But that's not really a big deal. There's nothing major in the VR stuff there anyway. I'm pretty sure it's more like side stuff there and what have you. Now Reverie will also, from what I've seen, also from Toshihiro Kondo, who's the president of Falcom, has said this is essentially like the halfway point of the Trail series, more or less. As I said earlier, Reverie is essentially like an epilogue of sorts for Cold Steel and Crossbell that will lead into the next Trails games on the way, which will be Kuro no Kiseki, which, as of, again, this phrase again, take a drink, from what I've seen and heard, it'll be translated into Trails into Sin, which that's not the official name, that's just possibly a placeholder. It could be the name, it might not be the name. We don't know for sure yet. The US won't be seeing Kuro 1 until like probably next year if I had to guess. And Kuro 2 is already out in Japan. I think that already came out last year, I think. Or maybe this year. But yeah, that is already out, I'm pretty sure. And I think they want to bring those stateside here as well. Kondo did say recently in some interview somewhere there or what have you. And shoutouts to Nisa here as well for taking on the localization for these games here as well for Cold Steel 3 and 4, and then Azure and Zero. Though I know they bought the rights to the Geofront localization for Azure there. Did they do the same for Zero as well? I don't recall the whole story with that there actually. There's a lot of details there. Yeah, I'm not remembering right now, but I know the Geofront team. Yeah, their script was used for Azure. I know that much there at least, and they did a phenomenal job with that from top to bottom. I still would love if they could ever get the rights to the Sky games and Cold Steel 1 and 2. I think Exceed still owns the rights to like publish them elsewhere, I think. I mean, Falcom still made the games, of course, but like as far as putting them on other consoles here and whatnot, I think Exceed still has the rights to those because they did the localization for those way back when. And they also did a phenomenal job on those. But the reason why I mention this all is because I would love, 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 love to have Sky 1, 2, and 3 and Cold Steel 1 and 2 on modern consoles here. Give Sky the HD treatment there like Azure and Zero got. Put them all, really all three to be in a bundle there on the Switch and PS4 and all that there. They're obviously on PC already. They have been forever now. And then, Cold Steel 1 and 2 are, of course, also on PS4, PC, and all that. But I would love if those came to the Switch here as well. Because as of right now, we have a lot of Trails games on the Switch, as is. 3, 4, Reverie, Azure, and Zero. But we still don't have the Sky Trilogy and the first 2 Cold Steels. Now, I believe in some of the Asian markets there, the company Clouded Leopard Entertainment... I'm also going off on a tangent here, not about Reverie, but I'll get back to that soon enough, don't worry. Clouded Leopard Entertainment actually did put out Cold Steel 1 and 2 on the Switch. I think Cold Steel 1 is called, like, Thor's Military Academy or whatever for its, like, surname or what have you. And then, Cold Steel 2 is, like, it's just Erebonian Civil War or something like that. I know there's extra names beyond that, but I don't remember. But yeah, having all of those on like one console on the Switch or just PS4 there as well. If the Sky games came to PS4, having just all of those games all in one console for people who maybe only have all of them on PS4 or Switch or PC or whatever, just have them all be available everywhere. Like they're of course all available on PC, but they're not all available on Switch, nor are they all available on PS4. And I think Falcom's even said they would like to get back to doing that eventually, but I know there's a whole bunch of loops to jump through and hoops to jump through rather, to get the rights there. If it's on the if it's on the radar at all to get the other Trails games on other consoles and whatnot there. But anyway, back to Reverie. Uh, we can already tell that Reverie is going to be an incredibly long game. Like a standard, I'm also well, I say standard here, but various playthroughs, first playthroughs, I'm trying to say, can vary lengthwise from person to person easily. So like a quote unquote standard first playthrough of Reverie here, I feel like it could take anywhere from like 90 to 100 hours, if not more. Because we have three full story lengths here to play through with Lloyd, Reen, and C here. And we know Trails games are very lengthy as is. They're so rich with story, with characters and all that there. So like even the first couple of Sky games, those were 60 plus hour RPGs right there. Sky the Third was, I think, a little bit shorter. But then yeah, Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, Azure, there's all like 70-hour plus playthroughs pretty much there. Reverie will be more of the same, and I cannot wait to dive into it there. I'm hoping I can actually have a day or two off of work then, actually. Although I may even go so far as to request those days off as well in advance, which might not be a terrible idea. July 7th is a Friday, so I could do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday sort of thing, or maybe even just Friday, Saturday, just for a couple of days off there, just to like kind of marathon the game to start. Um, I pretty much did the same when Cold Steel 3 and 4 came out. Did I take days off work for those? I don't think I did. But I think my schedule just worked out that I was like able to play them day one anyhow. I bought them right away. Um, I do have Cold Steel 3 physically. Well, I have them both physically and digitally here, 3 and 4. But yeah, I played the hell out of those games when they first came out, and Reverie will be no different. I am so excited to just get comfy on my couch, get the PS4 going, and just boot up Reverie, watch the opening video, and just dive right in. I'm not really sure which story path I want to take first. If there's like any preferred playthrough, because I mean, like I think how it would go is that you'll be able to play any one path you picked at first there for a while, and then my guess is you'll get to a certain point where it's like the story will progress further from here, or like this point the story's over for right now. Jump over to Reen or C or whatever. Yeah, I'm not fully sure how that works. I mean, I know people have played the game already, so they of course know, but I myself don't know quite yet there. And yeah, I can't wait to see, of course, what all they do with the story here as well, how the three characters here will intertwine with their stories and whatnot there. The other characters on their paths, with meeting with one another, how they all come to meet there, what story bases they'll touch on throughout the game there. Um, just literally every single thing about this game I am incredibly excited for. I haven't really been this hyped for a game in like, oh god, quite a while. Because yeah, Trails has its hooks in me big time. You guys already know a little bit about my history with the Trails games. I played Sky FC and SC first in 2015, Cold Steel 1 in 2016, Cold Steel 2 was 2017, 2018, and then 3 and 4 after that, and then Azure 0. So yeah, now being fully caught up with Reverie here, it'll be just a full experience there. And I know I'll just fully appreciate everything it has to offer and then some here. Um, I'm only 14 and a half minutes in, and I thought I had more to go over. Um, I don't want to just like ramble on incoherently. I do that enough as is to fill more time. Although I will say also, I haven't done a Let's Talk About episode for a little while anyway. I wanted to try and do these at least once a month, and I think I missed April actually here. So if I can, I'll have this one, of course, be for tomorrow, or when you guys watch this, it'll be today, Friday, of course. and then try to do one more near the end of the month there or so. Let me think here. There's so much I. It's almost annoying in a way. There's so much more I want to talk about, but it is heavily story related here. Story bits I've seen in such thus far here, or even what we've seen in the trailers here so far. Um, but yeah, there's more beyond that I do know already. So I guess I have spoiled myself somewhat here. And yeah, as much as I want to just blabber on about everything here, I will hold my tongue the same way as I did in the Sky FCLP. That would be spoilery stuff for later games there. And same with SC there as well. I know that'll come up there as well. But yeah, right now, Trails fans are eating incredibly well. We just got Azure this year, earlier this year. Reverie got the jump earlier actually to summer. It was supposed to be a fall release actually here, but it was jumped. It jumped Nayuta actually for summer, and now Nayuta will be out later in the fall, which I'm totally okay with. But yeah, still we have Nayuta coming up this fall here as well, which is more of a side spin-off Trails game. It's like an RPG action side scroller actually, which I've played a little bit before on the, via PSP emulation, and it's pretty cool. I will definitely get that as well. But yeah, Reverie is the big one here. Um, Trails fans, if you've caught up with the entire series, you are in for an absolute delight. Um, with that all said, guys, I think that actually will wrap things up here for me. I will probably come back to Reverie here eventually in probably a follow-up video actually to this one here. After I've beaten the game, I think would be a good time to do that, to just gush about how much I love the game, because I already know I'm going to love the game. There's, like, no way I won't. I'm sure there'll be little things here and there I won't like with Angelica. But besides that, like, now I know I am going to adore the game. One thing also, before I sign off, I will say, because I just did this myself here recently, and I am very glad I did. It'll come very much in handy for Reverie here. If you've played Cold Steel 4, or also I guess even if you haven't, you can just look it up online. Please read 3 and 9. They're an in-game book series that you can get throughout Cold Steel 4, much like how you can find books throughout other Trails games there. They will give you so much needed backstory for two of the characters that are hugely important to Reverie. Not going to say who, but just read 3 and 9. It won't spoil anything for Reverie here, because that takes place like before Reverie and all that there. So yeah, just definitely read those. They are super good. There's only like 10 parts in all, and they're not terribly long. They're available online to read. Just look up 3 and 9, and they're right there on the Trails wiki page. I read through them myself a couple days ago. They were fantastic. Pretty much. I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to sound like it's gatekeeping. I know that can be a sensitive issue in Trails here, and I really don't want to gatekeep ever. That's not the way to go about things. It really helps. I think I also maybe contradicted myself there a little bit um, earlier there, but no, just to fully clarify, it really helps if you've read 3 and 9 prior to playing Reverie. It really helps. I'll just leave it at that. Let me know if you guys are hyped for Reverie here as well. I know a lot of Trails fans out there do watch my videos here as well, like L-Score, Guma, Dovi. I'm sure there's more out there as well. So let me know what you guys think about Reverie here, if you're going to pick that up, and also on what console or consoles down the line there. And I know I'll be talking about the game, of course, on my Twitter and my Discord and all that there as well. And it's going to be amazing. These games are really something special, every single one in its own way. And Reverie is shaping up to be truly beyond words there, really. With that all said, guys, this has been Mr. Moose87 signing off for episode 3 of Let's Talk About. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.